Hello, my name's Ranishta. I'm a trainer at Lexis Canada, and today we will be looking at how you can search for case law and legislation in Lexis Canada. If you came here directly from our first video on secondary materials, welcome back. And if you're new here on this channel, welcome. This video is going to be primarily geared towards students. However, anybody who does legal research can stand to learn something or gain something. Without any further ado, let's get started. So first things first, you're going to be opening Lexis Canada. That is the platform that I will be showing you how to do your legal research on today. Once your platform is open, take out your secondary material research. At this stage, you should already have a bunch of research that you've already done in commentaries and legal encyclopedias that gave you a broad understanding of your topic. What we're going to do next is that we will be leveraging those commentaries to get a head start on your legal research in primary sources. So for those of you who haven't done your secondary material research yet, stop right there. You're not going to go any further before you do that secondary material reading. If you don't understand why you should be starting with your books and your legal encyclopedias first, go watch the first video that we did. I'll be giving you in there 3 good reasons why you should be reading up on your topic and get a broad understanding of it first before going any further and searching for primary sources. Pause the video and go. I'll wait. Alright, so the next step is that we're going to be building up your paranoia. And what I mean by this is that you will be learning how to do your due diligence. So what do I mean by due diligence? At this stage of your legal research, due diligence would be to check that the commentaries have accurately described the law for you by going to read the cases or the legislation that you found in the citations. And it's also making sure that those cases and legislative text are still good law, that they have not been criticized, that they have not been overturned, repealed in the case of legislation. And here's how you're going to be doing that, and at the same time, getting a head start on your primary source legal research. Okay, so for starters, what you're going to be doing is to read your text. You can't get around it. Read the full text of a legislation or of the case. When it comes to cases as well, don't just stop at the summary. For the love of anything holy, don't stop at the summary. Read the full text. And then once you've read the text, save the citation, the reference for that text somewhere for easy reference later on. Once you've done your reading and made sure that whatever was in that case or legislation accurately reflects what the commentary has told you, then you can start checking the authority of your legislation or of your case. So how do you check the authority of a case or a piece of legislation? Or as we often call it, how do you note up a legislation or a case? Well, say for example, you started with a piece of legislation for your legal research. On Lexis Canada, what you're going to be doing is that you will be clicking on the little symbol that appears next to the title of your legislation. This symbol will be leading you to a document that we call QuickSight. QuickSight on Lexis Canada is the tool that allows you to note up a case or a legislation to check the authority of that case or that legislation. Once you're in the QuickSight document for your legislative text, what you will do next is that you will be looking at the list of cases, and specifically first take a look at the graphic that shows up at the top of your list. What the graphical view will do is that it will allow you to get an idea of what is the judicial treatment that the cases in the list have attributed to your legislation, to the legislative text that you are noting up. If there are any cases that have given a negative treatment or a cautionary one, you need to go and read them, because that would mean that there are cases that have either questioned the constitutionality of that piece of legislation or have deemed it unconstitutional. Other than that, you also need to take a look at the cases that have given a positive treatment. Those will be the cases that have applied the legislation in the conclusions of the case. Now, not all cases that you will find this way might be relevant to your legal research. What you will do to make sure that they are relevant is that you will read the summary of the case so that you don't waste your time trying to read the full text and then realizing that the text is not relevant for you. So read the summary, and if it is relevant, then you read the full text. If you started with a case for your legal research, you will need to note up that case. The way to do it is to click on the little symbol that appears, you've probably guessed it, next to the title of your case. Now, as you progress through your legal research and you look at different cases, you may realize that some cases have different symbols of different colors or shapes. And those different colors and shape actually have a meaning. They tell you what is the global judicial treatment that your case has been given, either according to its history or according to the other cases that have cited it. If you would like to learn about the different meanings of the symbols you can find next to the title of your case, you'll find in the description box a link towards a reference document that will give you a table in which you will find an explanation for each symbol as well as the judicial treatment that it relates to. And suddenly the sun's out. How dare. Now, after opening your QuickSight document for your case, start at the top with a history list of your case. Sometimes you will not see a history in your QuickSight document. That is normal. You will only see a history if the case has been appealed or if there has been related procedures. What you want to do in that section is to make sure that there hasn't been any appeals of the case that you are noting up. If there is an appeal, you want to make sure that your case has not been overturned by this appeal. And if it has been, you need to go and read the judgment of the appeal case so that you know on what grounds was the appeal granted, what was overturned in the case you're using in your legal research. Next, you're going to take a look at the citing cases list that is right under your history. So as you take a look at this list, you'll see that it's very similar to how the citing cases list in a QuickSight document for legislation is like. What you will do there is that, similarly to a QuickSight document for legislation, you will take a look at whether there are any negative treatment or cautionary treatment or positive treatment that have been attributed by some of the citing cases to the case you're noting upon. So use the graphical view for that. You can take a look at the table to get the full overview. And then once you've done that, go to the list view. And in the list view, you're going to be filtering for all three types of cases at once. So those that have given a negative treatment, those that have given a cautionary treatment, and those that have given a positive treatment. From there, apply another filter, but in the search within your cases field. So in this little field, what you're going to do is use one keyword or two keywords that correspond to the legal concept or principles that you are interested in for your legal research. And as you enter them into the search bar, what it's going to do is that it will filter down the list of cases to retrieve you only those that mention those concepts in their text, so that you waste less time going through all of the cases that you managed to retrieve by filtering by judicial treatment. Then, what you will do next, you will click on the locus para link for each of these cases to retrieve the most relevant paragraph according to the judicial treatment that each citing case has given to the case you're noting up on. So instead of going to read the summary this time, you're going to take a look at the most relevant paragraph, instead using the locus para link. Finally, you will sometimes see at the very bottom of your QuickSight document that there is a list of commentaries that have referenced the case you're noting up. Commentaries from the legal encyclopedias on the platform, or from the articles from law reviews and journals. So this list will be useful mainly when you need to find an explanation for the principles that are applied in a case. You will actually find, as you progress along your legal research, that you will be switching back and forth between secondary sources and primary sources quite a bit. As you do more research, you will be able to judge which material you should be moving to on next. It will come in easier. So that's it for this video. I hope that you found it useful. If you would like to learn more about the tools and features that I've shown throughout this video, go to the description box below. There will be additional materials linked there. You can also sign up for a free training session onto our website, lexisnexus.ca. And you could also even ask, if you're a student that is, at a law school, you could ask your librarian to set up a training session with us. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.